Well, it's official, guys. We are live. This is the replay where we're still trying to make your day. Let's get into it. The Dallas Cowboys take down the New York Giants, 20-15. Let's go. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Well, it's official, guys. The Dallas Cowboys defeated the New York Giants this evening, 20-15. And I know y'all was probably kind of wiping your brows a little bit. There was a little bit of sweat towards the end right there, the way the game was completed. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it that the field goal kicker, Aubrey, would miss a 51-yard field goal? And in fact, I was already talking about the game was going to end 23-15. So I assume. And then on top of the fact, we had Michael Parsons out of the game, DeMarcus Lawrence out of the game. So we don't even have no real edge rushers. And the game of football, guys and gals, is played by a game of inches, and anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. But again, they held on to get the win, secure the win this evening, 20-15. And we're going to talk about it and get into this. You know, this game right here was very important. I don't know what y'all thought about it. I mean, it was a little bit lethargic. I don't even know, to be honest with you, how to even engage it. You know, this game was a game of, sometimes it felt like you was in practice. Sometimes you actually felt like you was in a game. I don't even know how to really call this game, but maybe y'all can chat out in the comments for me. But again, before we break all this stuff down, y'all don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share a notification button for me. But yeah, let's talk about this game. 20-15, the Dallas Cowboys prevail. The first part of the game, the Dallas Cowboys did receive the football. They drove, didn't even drive down the field. Let me take that back. They went 3 and out. And I don't know, what Mike McCarthy's game plan is when he start these games, because they went 3 and out. Didn't even pick up a first down, And then I got to, call it like I see it with some of the guys who played outstanding tonight. I give a big shout out to DeMar Overshawn. I thought that young man had a heck of a first half. I think the Dallas Cowboys have really solidified their linebacking positions, but I thought he played such a heck of a game the first and the second half, if you ask me. Also, I thought Aubrey, outside of the 51-yard field goal kick that he missed, our kicker was our kicker. He does what he do. I mean, to miss that 51, yeah, I hate it, but at the same time, we got kind of conservative. I would have liked, Mike McCarthy to have at least thrown at least 1 or 2 passes on that drive, but you got so much confidence in a kicker that he's going to make that kick. So you can't get too upset, but at the same time, you got to be real mindful. He is human. He is human, and things like that do happen. Also, I want to give a shout out to our nickelback, Jordan Lewis. I thought Jordan Lewis, he played well from the slot corner position. Of course, guys, we got to have our corners. We need our corners back. I know Diggs was out there. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying Diggs is still, he's working himself back into that all-pro level. But man, they took out the corner that came in for Carson's last week, whom I didn't even know Carson wasn't going to be played. I didn't know what happened from the Baltimore Ravens game, but Kalen Carson, he was out this evening, and the young fella Andrew Booth out of Clemson, the defensive back whom we traded for out of Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings had him, and we sent Nashawn Wright over to the Minnesota Vikings. He got out there, man, and got beat on a double move early by Neighbors, the Giants receiver, and man, he kind of struggled, so they had to go with one of our practice players, man, who played well. I think what was his? I didn't even really get his name, but I think it was like Rory. I know I'm butchering it, so forgive me. But I thought that young defensive back guy came in out of Penn State, man. I think once he got his feet underneath him and settled down, I thought he played a good game. I really did. I think that interception towards the end only solidified that. But again, I can't wait to Deron Bland get back. I definitely think that's going to help us in our secondary. But, man, let me tell you, we're talking about the guys who really stepped up tonight this evening. But, boy, we had some trash from our free safety, Malik Hooker. Man, let me just start down at Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker, if you listening, man, if you get a hold of this podcast, understand, man, you got to get deep as the receiver. That last play that went over his head, guys, that could have been an actual catch. He tried to cut in front of the receiver and go for the interception and forget that he got the receiver is behind him. They teach this on such a fundamental level. Get as deep as the deepest. So he blew that. And not only did he blow that, there was moments in the game, early in the game. Let me see. I had actually wrote it down. Yeah. Malik Hooker had a missed tackle, came in. You know, he had a couple of those, but he had a missed tackle in the fourth quarter that he should have made. He had a fumble recovery, even though it would have came back. But the mere fact that there was a fumble recovery and he's running down the sideline, and this tight end number 84 from the Giants run him down. man, I didn't know that dude had that kind of speed. I didn't know he was that slow. I really didn't think that Malik Hook was that slow. But he got ran down from behind by this tight end from the New York Giants. And so, you know, you're talking about that. You're talking about then what else did he have? He dropped an interception. That was another thing. He dropped the interception that he should have made. The ball hit him dead in the chest and bounced off his chest. And then after he missed that interception, the Giants picked up the first down that they needed. And I think that set up one of their field goals. So again, you know, when they go to film room and look at this game, I know he's going to get graded down to probably about a D or C- to a D, because, man, he did not have a good game to me at all. And had that receiver came down with that football on the end of that play, man, he sure would have got the donkey award. He would have definitely got the donkey award because, man, that guy there, man, I thought Malik Hooker, man, coming out of Ohio State, you know, he was a first-round pick. He played for the Indianapolis Colts before the Cowboys got him. But, man, we just got to get some doggone all-pro safeties back there because, man, this guy here could have really, really blown that game. But, again, I mean, I'm just shouting out the players, man, that did come up big. Like I say, was DeMar Overshawn. I think he had a heck of a game. A young, you know, left tackle, he's gonna be all right. Tyler Guyton, man, you know, we had a bunch of laundry on the field tonight. A bunch of laundry penalties here, holding calls. Guyton got called for a few, man. Two holding, you know, crucial. I felt like in the first half, those two holding calls that negated probably some points going in. That was crucial. Then you had our center BB, him and Tyler, other Tyler Smith, they got called for a holding off after a big pickup by CeeDee Lamb. You know, and you know, we just, again, the penalties, guys, the penalties. I don't understand all these freaking penalties that the Cowboys are getting. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like this is the same old every year we come into the season with these unnecessary penalties. And so, you know, I don't know. I know they talk about it. How do you coach it up? Because these guys, you know, I don't know. I can't really use fear tactics. Not in today's league, you can't. So what can you do? I mean, you talk about it. You go over these things, you know, trying to be fundamentally sound. But it don't seem like they getting the memo because, man, that was just far too many penalties. Way too many penalties this evening. What else do we have going on? Dowdle, I thought he ran hard, but guys, our running game is still suspect. It's still suspect. At one time, CeeDee Lamb, man, he was the leading rusher on the team with 10 yards. The leading rusher on the team with 10 yards. So, you know, yes, Dowdle, he tried to run a little bit harder the second half, but, man, I think Zeke is not getting enough touches. But once again, I mean, he's not the Zeke of old, so I don't really expect if you gave him probably about 15 carries. I don't know what that average what it would average out to be. But it is what it is, man. But we still got to find a run game. And I hope Dalvin Cook, whenever they bring him up from the practice squad, that he makes a difference in that run game because Dowdle, man, shouldn't be our starting running back. He just shouldn't be our starting run. Y'all check out in the comment. If you think Dowdle should be the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys, check that out for me in the comments. Because I just think right now, man, I don't know what's taking Dalvin Cook so long. I mean, I may have to research that on tomorrow. I don't know if he's struggling with the playbook. He, has some injury he was coming off of. I wasn't aware of any injuries, but at the same time, I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy, but we got to get that run game going. This was a very, like I say, it was a very lethargic game. I mean, both teams played hard. Both teams came in 1-2. Both teams needed a victory. Dak record is once again is very successful against the NFC East teams. And Dallas playing with a lot of young players too. They're playing with a lot of young players on their defense. I think that's part of it, guys. I think that you got Leofold, the linebacker out of Notre Dame. You had the two young rookie corners. Well, not rookie corners, but they hadn't had a whole lot of play time. And then we had, of course, Overshawn is really like a rookie, even though he was there last year. But we all understand that he had an ACL tear during the preseason last year. So this is his first time getting out there repping. I thought Nealon, the defensive end, number 94, playing special teams, because he got to run down on special teams as well. But I thought he performed well. So we got a lot of young pieces on defense that I think they're going to grow up. I think when we get to probably week 8, week 9, you're going to see these guys really grow up fast. They play fast. I like the youthfulness. I really do. I like the enthusiasm. I like the youthfulness. We need that on the defense. I think Overshawn, man, he definitely came to play this evening. But they just got to get a little bit more season. They got to get a little bit more season, because I don't like the fact that the New York Giants, they was 3 for 3 at one time on 4th downs. 3 for 3 on 4th downs. We got to get those guys off the field. What else happened? Some of the key things in the game I thought was you had let's see here, that Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones was 21 of 24 for 288 yards in the by the third quarter. We're talking Daniel Jones, run pass option happy. Daniel Jones was 20 of 24 for 288 yards. That Daniel Jones. So we got to show up, man, because Daniel Jones putting up those kind of numbers in the first, going early second half. He's not that dude. He's just not. I think the New York Giants, they talk about Dak money and all of that, but come on, Dak is way above Daniel Jones in my estimation. Daniel Jones, man, he held up the New York Giants and didn't even have to pull out a gun, because man, they paid that guy and did not give the money to Saquon Barkley, which is why Saquon Barkley is now with the Philadelphia Eagles, because this guy's more known as a running quarterback more than he is a passer. So again, I mean, what does that really say? I know we got a corner missing, but what that really say? 21 or 24 for 288 yards. And I think they do have he definitely got something in that young kid, Neighbors, man. That receiver, I think he has a really, really bright future if he continue to work hard. Yeah, he has a really, really bright future. Going up against corners like Diggs, man, can only make you better. And you're gonna be seeing Diggs and DeRon Bland them twice a year. So big shout out to Neighbors, though. I thought the young, kid, the young rookie, man, he came out and did his thing. But again, for those of y'all who are joining us, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. They prevail over the New York Giants 20-15. Won enough points. We used to put up 30, 40 points on the Giants. One could say, maybe the Giants have improved. Maybe the Giants gotten better. But when I looked at the New York Giants, I'm saying, where? You lose a Saquon Barkley, and then you insert, Singletary, who played for the Houston Texans, in the backfield. And I'm looking at the receiving core. You really don't have, I know the young little slot kid Robertson, number 17 for the Giants, had a pretty good game. And boy, am I glad that he dropped that pass. They thought it was a pass interference on Jordan Lewis, but he actually just dropped that pass, because, man, had he caught that, I think he would have been off to the races. But they don't really they have Slayton over there, but come on. They don't have no one opposite Neighbors, and Neighbors is only a rookie. So when I'm looking at this offense and their defense, both of their cornerbacks was missing. Adoree Jackson, he was out. Drew Phillips, he was out. So when I'm looking at the New York Giants defense, I'm wondering, why are we struggling? I mean, we started out like we was feeling really put up by a 30-piece tonight. Brandon Cooks caught a nice route. Of course, CD Lamb had a few catches and went over. I think he had about 7 catches for over 100 yards himself, including the big touchdown. But we never seem to really just get into a rhythm. And it's week 3. I think part of it, guys, you can check this out. I think part of it, man, is these doggone where they used to play. I think back in the 70s and 80s and all this, they had all these preseason games. They played about 5 preseason games. And when you haven't been playing football for a minute, it takes a little while to get into a rhythm, to get, acclimated again. Of course, CD Lamb missed some time in training camp. There's a lot of moving pieces. We got a new offensive line. We got a couple of rookies starting on the offensive line. Our run game is really not there yet. I think the Dallas Cowboys is a work in progress with these added new pieces. But again, I think if they can just hold on, I think at some point they'll definitely get to where they want to be. But man, they got to get there quick in a hurry. They got to get there quick in a hurry because I'm telling you, they got a tough schedule coming. They got another road game in 10 days. In 10 days, they're going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. And, that's not going to be an easy game because now you're going up against another RPO type quarterback in Justin Fields, So that's granted if he don't get hurt on Sunday and hopefully he don't. I mean, I like to see the best against the best. But that's what Dallas going to have to tend with. And now we don't even know what's going on with Michael Parsons. I saw the big fellow man go down and the big lineman, offensive lineman fell on his leg. It seemed like he got up and moved. I think they wanted to, take some precaution to make sure that it's not more than just maybe some type of a contusion or a bruise or something like that. But man, I can't even imagine Michael Parsons is out. As much as sometimes they say, he seemed to disappear here and there. Let me tell y'all something. Michael Parsons being out, period. Oh, we're going to struggle. Oh, yeah, we're going to certainly struggle. The Dallas Cowboys will be struggling because you don't have a pass rush that's coming off the edge that has to be accounted for. You can best believe whenever any offensive team is breaking that huddle, the first person they're looking for is number 11. Where is he going to line up at? Where is Michael Parsons? You got to identify. This is the whole thing about reading the offense, reading the defense. They give you what they call keys. It ain't just guys out there, for some of you who don't know this, it's not guys just out there just lining up and just saying, hike the football. No, there are certain keys you got to read. I know me playing corner, you read your keys from the tackle through from the tight end through the tackle. And sometimes if the tight end is not on your side, then you got to read the tackle and his hand placement. And there's a lot of moving pieces that's going on. So offensively, they gotta identify number 11. I don't care how it looks because he's always getting double teamed. He's getting chipped. They're stunning his way a lot of times, and a lot of times people don't see that. We don't see that, down in and down out. But to lose Michael Parsons, oh my goodness. And of course, DeMarcus Lawrence, he went out of the game with some type of arch in his foot. So again, I was a little bit like, oh man, will these seconds come on and tick off the clock? Because I can tell you right now, we don't have an experienced pass rushers out there right now, and anything can happen. Because had the Dallas Cowboys dropped to 1-3 after tonight, and you're talking about an NFC East game, oh man, we can't fall behind that early like that, because it's not just winning the division. You're looking at teams across the whole NFC. And there may be 2 or 3 teams coming out of probably the NFC West when you look at it. Think about it. In the NFC West, you have the Seattle Seahawks, you got Arizona, you have the Rams, right? Those 3 teams right there that are that could actually make the playoffs. Just depends. It just depends. Oh, what I'm talking about. You're forgetting San Francisco 49ers. So we don't have time, the luxury of falling behind. That's basically what I'm saying, guys. Dallas got to grow up, and they got to grow up quick and a hurry, because the schedule right now early is not going to favor them. It's not going to favor them. But I think that They will be getting some players back. We know that Bland he's not out for the year, so that's great. I think this is the 3rd week, so I think they had him out for at least 3 to 6 weeks. And I think he's doing some cord work right now, and I think his foot is getting better. But man, we can show up our corner position, and we got to get our safeties playing better. I don't know why I didn't hear from Wanye Thomas, number 30, man, but that kid played his tail off in Dan Quinn's system last year, and I thought he would be getting a lot more time, in that secondary. But I didn't even hear his name called tonight. And then Turpin, he was MIA tonight. Other than running special teams, I didn't hear him his name being called once on offense. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but it just seemed like, man, his number one even dialed up. Oh, no reverses or nothing tonight. So, there's a lot to be said in tonight's victory. But a win is a win. This is the NFL. It is very tough to get wins in the NFL, especially when you're talking about a division opponent. It is. It's just tough. And when you know each other, you know each other's personnel, and you got to play each other twice within the division. Man, all I can say is that I am so glad that we got the first NFC East win. That's important. I don't care who it is. I don't care how the New York Giants was playing. I'm glad we got that win, because I'm telling you, man, winning definitely helps ease the pain of losing. And you don't want to be 1-3. You just don't want to be 1-3. I didn't get a chance to because I wanted to come over here and just talk about the win. I didn't get a chance to download any of the highlights so we could replay that. But I'll try to when I'm doing the next show in its entirety, because we won't be on here too long, but in its entirety, we'll just kind of replay some of those highlights that we saw, because there was some highlights. But again, we had some bad matchups too, though. I mean, some of the stuff that Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, was calling, I was rather surprised. I'm looking at this matchup. I don't know if y'all remember I think it was probably in the 2nd quarter of the game when they had the linebacker Kendricks, number 50. He was matched up, man, with number 17, Robinson from the New York Giants. And I'm trying to figure that out. Like, Mike Zimmer, how do you get your linebacker on a receiver who work in the slot? It just didn't make any sense to me. I mean, what defense are you calling in that kind of, crucial moment? I mean, because after he danced on him, he boogied on him. He caught the route, he boogied on him, and then the very next play, man, they give up a 28-yard gain to the wide receiver Slayton. And these things can be rectified, they can be fixed, but you don't want these things to become problematic. You don't want to have these little things become problematic, because they can. And Mike Zimmer got to have a feel for the game, because again, I kept trying to think to myself, what defense could they have been in for Kendricks to line up on Robinson? He's a linebacker. Now, normally, sometimes you may have a linebacker that may walk over a receiver. They call it walk, where all he's doing is trying to extend the defense out to get a cover guy over that receiver guy, but that's not his man. He's expecting to get some help from the defensive back, but that's not his man. But this guy Kendricks actually wind up following this guy and covering this receiver. And I just thought that was a bad matchup. Man, I would love to know what defense were they in when that happened, because sometimes I know it's a chess. They call, it's a chess move. It's a chess move. And you trying to match up. It's all about matchups. But man, I'm telling you, if Dable, the head coach for the New York Giants, if he could have drew something up a little bit better, man, he probably would have still been running. So again, that was something that Mike Zimmer, man, he got to go back and take a look at, because again, he can't put Dallas in those situations, especially with us trying to find that rhythm, because that takes you out of the rhythm. That takes you out of the rhythm. So, I hope when they go back and look at this film right here, man, that they go back and realize that, man, wow, we made some big mistakes. But again, we got the victory. We got the victory, and I cannot, complain about that. What else is there to talk about? Again, the Dallas Cowboys defeats the New York Giants 20-15. It was It was a slug match. It wasn't the points that we thought. Maybe the way the Cowboys started out again, I thought they may put up 30 points, but didn't happen. Didn't happen. The Giants' backs was against the wall, and they came out swinging too. But I think we made Daniel Jones look better than what he really is. To go 21 of 24. Nah. Now we did do better. Let me see what they did compared to Sunday's game against the Ravens, man. I think that when the Ravens ran up like what they showed the statistic toward the end of the game where they had 428 yards on Sunday. 428 yards, and tonight the defense, our run defense, only gave up 26 yards. I think that was a big improvement. Now, considering who they was going up against, I get it. Well, you say, well, it was the New York Giants. Yeah, you're right. The New York Giants, which is an NFL team. Yeah, but, I'll take that because, again, why? We needed the victory. But you can improve upon that, and those are the things you want to be able to go into the meetings with when you're watching the film the next day. You want to be able to, find something positive. Yeah, you want to teach the mistakes. You want to teach the things that they didn't do so well, but you also want to find the good things that they did and improve upon those things. And I thought, shout out to Mozzie Smith. Big Mozzie played tonight. I don't know if y'all saw it was one time Big Mozzie got through there, man, and he body slammed the guy on the ground, man, and then jumped up. I said, okay, there go the first round pick. That's what everybody been looking for, the first round pick. Mozzie did his thing. I think he's improving. I think he had a solid game on Sunday. For what it's worth, they got hammered the first half and a little bit of the third quarter, but then Dallas started picking up their run defense, which became a little bit too late. But again, you have to take these things within its context, and you have to build on these things. Because again, if you watching that tape, man, and man, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Coaches go off. I'm talking about y'all don't even, on a collegiate level and in the NFL, because they know they need job security. And if you got a guy out there, he don't know his assignment, he don't know where he's going, he don't know where he's supposed to be, coaches lose their jobs. Yeah, man. I played with a guy, man. He was an all-pro, went to the NFL, man, and I just remember, and I was just a young pup at the time, man. He was a senior, and man, I'm talking about this defensive coordinator we had, man. Went off. Was cursing him out, talking about if you out there playing for yourself and you a prima donna, you won't be out there. You just only focusing on yourself because you trying to get to the NFL. Was going off on this guy, man. And I'm not gonna say his name. Y'all figure it out. If y'all know whoever who played at the University of Texas El Paso. And no, let me just tell you, it wasn't Tony Tover, the Dallas Cowboys. So let me take that off the table. But yeah, man, he was going off, man. And so don't think for a second, man, these players on the NFL level don't get undressed. These coaches will undress you. Don't care how much money you make, because they're looking at job security. So when you got films, and see, one thing they say in football, film don't lie. Film don't lie. It's going to tell the truth. Because when they slow that project, well, they don't use projectors anymore, but that video now, they slow that video down and they put that red dot up on that canvas, they gonna say, that's you, right? That's you right there, right? That's you, number 58, right? That's you, right? Yeah, and you gonna have guys in the back, your teammates, they joking and joning and sniggering and everything else, while the coach is up there riding your behind, getting on you. That's the reason why I say they got some young guys that I think all they need is a little bit more time, a little bit, a lot more reps, a little bit more efficiency. I think those guys like the Overshans, again, Leofall, Nealon, those young players, I think at some point, man, they're going to grow up real quick this season, because in the NFL, it's like 2 seasons. College games are over with at 11, 12 games. If go to a bowl game. Now, if you're playing for the playoffs, that's something different, but you're talking about 17 games in the NFL and then some. So usually around about game number 10, the 10th week, you've grown up. You've grown up a little bit. And the way those guys are out there flying around, I think Dallas definitely have something in the making. So again, this is the replay where we're still trying to make your day. The Cowboys take down the New York Giants 20-15. They're behind the Philadelphia Eagles now for second place in the NFC East. I don't know, guys, if the Washington Commanders are real or not. I don't know. I think the quarterback maybe. I think, he's kind of pulling that C.J. Stroud from last year type thing. But we'll see. I mean, I saw the game they played on Sunday, and he hung in there, man. I think Jaden McDaniels, man, he got a lot of promise. If he can stay upright, he has a lot of promise. But that still doesn't tell me, as far as the Commanders, where they really are at this point. So it's going to be interesting this year in the NFC East. It's going to be real interesting. With Dan Quinn being over there and knowing our personnel, that gives him a little bit of an advantage. That's the reason why I want the Cowboys to come on, man. They got to come on with it, come on with it, come on with it. Right now, they are 2-2 now. 2-2. They got 10 days rest. They got to go into Pittsburgh. That's going to be a big game. You know how they get down up there, man, in steel time. That black and yellow, they're going to be swinging them tiles, man. And that's, I got to give a I got to make a confession. My family know me. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she even knew, growing up as a little boy, man, I was a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I would literally cry when Pittsburgh would lose. But the first team I ever rooted for was the Dallas Cowboys. But it was just that I wasn't, I'm young. I ain't nothing about like 6, 7, maybe 8 years old. So I'm not making a connection between area codes and the city you from. I don't have none of it on my mind. All I like was the fact that the colors look good to me. That black and gold looked good to me. And they had one of my favorite players who came out of USC in 1974, Lynn Swann. And, I always made this connection between Swann and Drew Pearson. I guess because they both wore number 88. So I always was torn between them two, But again, when I was smaller, when the Steelers was winning in the 70s, it made it a little bit easier. It made it a little bit easier. But what happened was, what happened was when I got to college, you meet people from all across the town, New York, California, Connecticut, and everybody's repping their area code, right? And so me being proud of the 214, I wasn't about to let these guys from the East Coast or the West Coast talk about, Dallas like that. Like we got some softies coming out of Texas. So you get into these tit for tats and all this stuff with these guys repping their area and all that. So when they start talking about the Los Angeles, first they were talking about they're taking the NBA. You're arguing about everything when you're in college, especially when you're 18, 19, 20 years old. So, these guys from LA, they love to talk about the Lakers and how sorry the Mavericks was and how they, beat the Mavericks, and they talk about the Dallas Cowboys, this and that. So I'm gonna defend that. Man, I'm looking, no, you don't talk about the 214 like that. So in the midst of all of this, man, I just started, man, switching, kind of lean a little bit more towards hometown. And then I realized that, man, wait a minute. How did I get caught up into that, man? I supposed to be rooting for the hometown. Shout out, man, to my little brother, man. My little brother, and I ain't gonna even tell y'all what his name is right now. I'm gonna let him surprise y'all. He'll come on the show for me right now. But shout out to I see little bro. Yeah, he'll tell you too, man, because my uncle, man, and I was big, Pittsburgh Steelers fans as little boys. But my uncle to this day, Big Ant, man, he can't stand the Cowboys. He can't stand them. I'm kind of like Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, the father of Serena and Venus Williams. He said every time that they would compete, he would just get up and just walk out of the stands. Or maybe I might be like Archie Manning or something. Because I tell people, listen, I get twice the headache though. Y'all only get one headache. I get twice the headache. So, but my uncle, man, to this day, man, and my boy, shout out to my boy Bone too, man, Bone Davis, man. He a big Steelers fan, man. And but of course he's from Memphis, so he ain't, hey, that is what it is. They never had a team down there other than the Memphis Showboats from the USFL way back. Now I'm really telling my age, way back in the 80s, right? But nonetheless, man, I hate it when the Dallas Cowboys have to go and face the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is what it is now because I got to roll with the 214 regardless. But if I have to have, say, a team that is second close to my heart, it would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's my AFC team, and it is what it is. It is what it is. But I got to go with the Cowboys. I got to go with Dallas. I've grown up now. I matured up. And I gotta call it like I see it, man. I gotta roll with the boys. It is what it is. We'll keep moving, And God rest my uncle Gene, man. He, who was he gets this. I'm gonna tell you something. My brother's on here. He'll tell you. He can chat this out. My dad was at one time a Dallas Cowboy fan, but he went to high school with Dwayne Thomas, the late great Dwayne Thomas, who played running back with the Dallas Cowboys. Went to Lincoln High School with him. And when the Cowboys let him go, because he always said the Cowboys were racist. And he said when they got rid of Dwayne Thomas and he saw the racism that was surrounding the whole area back then, he said he switched over to the Washington. Back then, it was the Washington Redskins. He became a huge Washington Redskins fan. Well, meanwhile, his little brother, get this, if any of y'all from the Dallas Oak Cliff area, you know that Madison High School and Lincoln High School are two big rivals. So now imagine you got a little brother who go to James Madison and the big brother go to Lincoln, and then you got the Redskins and you got the Dallas Cowboys. Man, that was guys. If they had social media back then, you know how they sometimes put these elderly people on social media and be making these funny. Say that would have been a classic. I'm telling you guys. My father, John Perry Body, God rest his soul, and my uncle Eugene, look here, Body. Them two was a sight to see. I mean, they was a sight to see because he was a diehard Cowboy fan and he was a diehard Washington Redskins fan, and they would go. I mean, they would almost come to blows. But again, I used to sit back and just I be laughing so hard. I'm thinking I'm about to throw up, guys. But that's how it is. Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I've been able to absorb a lot of things now and rolling with my boys. Cause like I say, man, I was almost finna get into fights with cats in college, man, about the Cowboys and talking about Dallas like that and the 214. Man, look here, man. I wasn't having it. I was not having it. I wasn't having it. Yeah, you're right, Ray. Yeah. Dad definitely love. Oh man, that's my little brother, man. Anyway, shout out to him now. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so anyway, Dallas Cowboys, man, they hold on, take down the New York Giants. We own the Giants. I don't even know where we're gonna go from here, guys. I really don't. What do y'all think? Y'all can come in, man. Do we take out the Pittsburgh Steelers next? I mean, do we get into a rhythm where we go on a 4 or 5 game, winning streak? I mean, I still don't know. The jury's still out for me. I'm still trying to figure that out. Because what I saw tonight is hard to gauge. 2-1-2 teams, right? 2-1-2 teams, and you're talking about the Giants, and so I can't gauge it. I can't, I don't know what to really even say anymore in regards to that because, they just didn't show me much outside of letting Daniel Jones throw the football, going 21-24, like I stated earlier. So the Dallas Cowboys, man, the jury's still out. I'm glad we got the victory. Like I said, I'm definitely glad that we got the victory. I mean, these wins don't come easy. I got to set this light out a little bit. These wins don't come easy like that. They don't come easy like that. And so I'm glad that we got the victory because had we lost, guys, we would have been sitting here 1-3. 1-3. And boy, I'm gonna tell you, I was thinking to myself, the what if game. What if Michael Parsons being out of the game, DeMarcus Lawrence being out of the game? What if somehow, and when he missed that field goal, the 51-yard, I know y'all thought maybe just like I did, I was already saying final score 23-15 Cowboy. But when he missed that 51-yard field goal, man, I sat there and said, man, what if, man? What if? And I'm telling y'all, guys, when I saw this Malik Hooker trash go in front of this football, and they tell you on the fundamentalist level, they teach this in high school, stay as deep as the deepest. I'm going to tell you, I know Mike Zimmer going to cuss him out because see, Mike Zimmer started out as a defensive back coach. You're a professional, man, and you done heard this somewhere, junior high school, middle school, high school, college, whatever. Stay as deep as the deepest. This dude try to go in front of the ball, want to be a hero. Now, had that guy got behind him, came down with that football, say, man, We got to take it back to the Jimmy Johnson day. That dude would have been cut, man. That dude would have been cut. I'm just telling you, man, because he was already, again, he missed tackles earlier, missed the interception earlier. I mean, he just was, again, man, the dude just, he just underperformed. And he should be the last person to go pick his check up at the window. In fact, if I was Jerry Jones, I might put stop check on. I might stop payment on his check. Yeah. Stop payment on his check. Yeah. He ain't did nothing tonight to earn that. But again, I think Dak, I didn't get the final stats for Dak, but I think Dak was over, if he went over 200 yards, I know he was close to it. Dallas did, he stopped passing the ball. I'm glad to see him have a little bit more balance, even though, again, our run game was still lethargic. They're trying. I can see Donald and them, they running hard. They're trying. And again, we got two young offensive linemen, and I think they will gel. I know Zach Martin went out for a little bit. He had a little eye problem situation going on. But, man, we still a work in progress, so we just got to be patient with him. But I just hope it don't cost us down the road here, because man, these weeks gonna fly by real quick, and before you know it, you could be on the outside looking in. I'm telling you, if Dallas don't start picking up this run game, and them young players, as I mentioned earlier, if they don't continue to improve and grow, which I think they will, barring any injuries. I know Overshawn got a little dinged or whatever the case may be. So we got some players that got dinged up tonight. But they got that 10-day rest. But again, if those guys do not grow up, then everything that people was talking about, man, because Dallas fans, we really spoil. Oh, man, they go 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. First of all, if you don't go 12-5 or 10-6, 10-7, or whatever the case may be, you don't never make it to the tournament, as Bill Parcells would say. You don't get into the playoffs. So now, I'm hoping that it's a little bit of a silver lining, that maybe it's a flip. Maybe they're not doing so well in the regular season early on, and maybe they start gelling towards the end. I mean, however it works out, I just want to see these guys, man, in the NFC Championship game or something, man, because if they get ousted or even don't even make the playoffs, y'all listen to me good. If they get ousted in the first round or don't even make the playoff, do you think Mike McCarthy should be fired? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you think, chat it out for me, do you think if they do not make the playoffs or get ousted in the first round, is it time for Mike McCarthy to go? Y'all chat that out for me, yes or no? But again, this is the replay where we're still trying to make your day the Sports Culture Show. Please, guys, hit that like, subscribe, and share a notification button. I'm gonna be going live as much as I can after the Dallas Cowboy game. This is the second time I actually ever did this. Y'all know we actually do the show, but I had to switch some things up a little bit because I want to get back to doing the Black Vocracy part, which I'm going to be doing that again. If you haven't seen any other posts, I will be doing the Black Vocracy uploads coming soon in wake of what was going on, as I stated the other day, in wake of what's going on with the P. Diddy situation. There's a lot of people that's talking on social media, man, and they just sound like parrots almost to me. They don't know what they're really talking about. They just listen to CNN and just letting them report and all these speculations. But I want to be able to share some insightful information, some truth information from experience. Okay, so yeah, y'all look for those uploads. I'll probably, more than likely, if I don't do it this week, I'll probably definitely start next week with them. We're going to bring that back. Shout out to my man, Arthur Sanchez. What's up, Arthur? I see you in the house, man. How you like that Dallas Cowboys game? I know you probably was sweating too, Arthur. I know you was sweating, Arthur. Come on, man. I know you was sweating. I thought you didn't go to bed early, man. Some people may have fallen asleep. I mean, it was kind of one of those games, defensively. You was like, but I know y'all kept saying, you know what, man, let me just stay up because you just never know about these Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. But I just wanted to sit there, man, and write notes and just look at the game from a different perspective and see what type of improvement we was going to make from Sunday's game, because Sunday's game was so horrific. Shoes, man. I was like, man, you can't do nothing. Like Otis said in the movie Temptation. Well, look at it like this, guys. We can't do nothing but go up. All we can do was go up. I mean, after that performance on Sunday. So I expect for them to come out, man. Like I said, they only gave up 26 rushing yards tonight. 26. Gave up a lot of passing yards. We gave up a lot of passing yards, but we only gave up 26 yards rushing. So that's a big improvement. And again, everybody's been getting on Mozzie Smith, but Mozzie I think he played his best game tonight. I'd love to see how he grades out. I think he played one of his best games tonight. I really do. So, we're going to get some guys back healthy. We're going to get some guys back out there on the field, and I know some guys are going to grow up. But again, guys, this have been a slow start, a sluggish start, kind of lethargic. I think Dallas, again, was trying to put some pieces together, but this is what happened, I think, with a lot of teams, not just the Dallas Cowboys, is when you're still trying to figure out your player personnel, and you don't play a lot of preseason games anymore. I think a lot of it has to do with it. I really do. And I think they need, if you notice, I don't think Dak, the last time he've even played in a preseason game, it has to be over 5 years. I mean, if anybody know what the answer to that, shout it out. But I know it has to be over 5 years or close to it. So these guys don't even play in the preseason anymore to try to get the the reps that they need. Yeah, Arthur said he don't think that Mike McCarthy should call plays. What y'all think? Did Mike McCarthy, did he? You know what, Arthur? You know what? I have to agree with you on that, man. You know what? Because I'm gonna tell you why. Do y'all recall there was a Dallas was bagged on their own goal line? I think they came out. It was like a 3rd and 12 or something, and he handed the ball off to CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, in fact, it was the 1st and 20. That's what it was, 1st and 20. They got a holding call, and so they had after that holding call, they made it 2nd and 20, and he handed the ball off to CeeDee Lamb on their own 20-yard line or whatever it was. And I said, Mike McCarthy, what kind of you handing the ball off to CeeDee Lamb in the backfield when you're backed up on your own 18, 17-yard line? So Arthur, man, that's that was a great comment, man. That was suspect. That was definitely suspect, and there was a couple of, I don't know if that was just, Dak himself looking out for receivers and trying to come back and stuff like that, because y'all, if you recall, Dak, before Donald scored that touchdown on the screen pass, the ball got tipped in the end zone. And if the Giant players was looking, that would have been an interception. Yeah. They got a holding call on Guyton. The ball got tipped, and the Giant player didn't see it, and he missed that interception. So if he had called it, it would have been their ball. They would have killed that drive. We would have never got the 7 points that Dowdle scored on. So, things like that, man, that can make a difference in a game. Things like that can make a difference in a game. In the second half, how the Giants started out, they came out in the second half, they really, tonight, the Giants really, really, really tried to establish the run. They threw the football, but they really tried to establish the run. I think, let me see, they had they started from their own 50-yard line at one time, and they had a pass to Neighbors who gained, I think, like 8 yards, and then they ended the third quarter, went into the fourth quarter, and then there was a 3rd and 12 that they didn't get. I think we stopped them on that. No, it was a 4th and 3. The Giants, because Neighbors caught that pass over Diggs. It was 4th and 3. But at the time, the score was 17-15. But we was able to, keep them out of the end zone, and they wind up punting anyway. But that was the thing. But think about this for a second. The New York Giants drove the ball inside the 25 times, 5 times, and shot themselves in the foot. And in the NFL, you got to come away with a touchdown or something, or you're not gonna win those games. You're just not gonna win those games. Let me see what we got to know originally in his play. No, yeah, I agree, my little brother, man. No originality in his play calling. Yeah, I mean, again, you didn't package anything for Lil Turpin. He caught a touchdown. I think on Sunday he caught a touchdown, and then you come back to Thursday and you don't have nothing you gonna run to him. Well, you looking like Kellen Moore now. With guys like that, man, that has that kind of shiftiness, that kind of speed, man, you got to at least give them, 5 plays. You got to at least try to give them 5 plays. But I'm gonna take it back to our run game. It's gonna get real interesting whenever Dalvin Cook come. I hope we get the Dalvin Cook of old. I really, really do, because they kind of certain Deuce Vaughn in there. And I don't know how y'all feel about Deuce Vaughn. I really had Deuce Vaughn being like our little Darren Sproles. Y'all remember Darren Sproles back in the day with the Philadelphia Eagles? I had him on that kind of timeline, but I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's working out, man. And if this is just a little bit of nepotism, because his father being a scout. And I like Deuce Vaughn. I liked him. I liked Deuce Vaughn even when he was at K-State. But shoots, man, he don't really. I mean, if he's not getting the touches and you're not being creative enough in your play calling, then he's taking up a roster spot. But what do y'all think? Chat out on that. I mean, it's like he's taking up a roster spot. And again, I like Deuce Vaughn. I really do. But you put Deuce Vaughn probably with a Kyle Shanahan or some other real creative offensive coach. He may look like Deuce Vaughn of old from K-State. But I just don't think, man, he's going to be able to get into a rhythm. I just don't think he's going to be able to get into a rhythm playing with the Dallas Cowboys. Because 2, 3, 4 touches, that ain't going to get it. That ain't going to get it done. It's just not going to get it done. So then you're talking about having to give time to Ezekiel Elliott. Then you're talking about having to give time, of course, to Donald. So I think once Dalvin Cook gets back, I think that'll put him back on the practice squad, or it could get him released. But, we shall see. You're right. We're not in Green Bay. We're not in Green Bay. But again, I'm not. It's a lot to be said, and I don't want to keep sounding redundant or repeating myself in regards to how they look tonight. I think Ferguson had a good game. Dak spread the ball around. Again, I don't have his final number, but I'm quite sure he was over 200 yards of passing. At least he didn't have no interceptions. Maybe had a couple of questionable throws. Real tight coverage, real tight in the windows. But it is what it is. We got the win. We got the victory. And, that's all I can say, man. So we got to get ready for these Pittsburgh Steelers. 10 days of rest. We'll see how that plans out. But again, we just got to keep putting these wins together. I don't, win ugly if you have to. I'll take an ugly win than a no win any day. Win ugly if you have to for now. Because again, you got help is on his way. Help will be back. And I think these young people are going to grow up. So, guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in, jumping on here with me. We'll be back again, going live. Like I say, y'all look out for those uploads on Black Vocracy, where we're going to be talking about some country stuff. This would be a total different element for me, because really, man, I'm more of a student of information and knowledge more than anything. I like to do the sports things because that's a part of my life, part of my experience as well. And I have fun in doing this. No skin off my nose. But anytime you guys want to come on to the replay with me, send me your email and I'll put you on the studio. I love to have some playback and give people's other perspectives about this. So shout me out. Let me look at this one more comment. Here we go. Okay, hey, I'm glad this is my good friend Sherry. Sherry, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers in 10 days. Are you gonna be ready? Are you gonna be swinging your towel? I'm gonna put her up here. Her coming up here so y'all can see them talking about. Yes, sir. The steel curtain. Get ready. You know what? I'm not gonna argue with you though, Sherry. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna put myself right in the middle of it. So I'm gonna let you, handle that with with everybody that really grew up only loving the Dallas Cowboys. Because like I say, Pittsburgh is my second child. Pittsburgh is my second child. I'm confessing. But I got to go to 214 now, and I have to be like Mr. Williams, man. He got 2 daughters and he just got up and walked out. So I might have to get up and walk out. But I get twice the headache. I do. But Sherry is a big Pittsburgh fan, y'all. She's a big Pittsburgh fan. So I know she's gonna have a lot to say. But Sherry, I want you to take you some notes when the Cowboys play the Steelers. You know how to come into the studio. You sending these chats, and I appreciate that. But you know how to come into the studio. I want some of these women to get on here to talk this football stuff. Yeah. So yeah. But again, I want to thank everybody that jumped on with me this evening, guys. And again, I'm gonna be doing the Black Vocracy. And by the way, Sherry's one person, man. She was riding with me way back when I was doing Spotify, and we were just doing audio. I didn't even have no visual or nothing. So big shout out to Sherry, man. She's always doing a thing. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing Black Vocracy. Upload those will just be weekly uploads, but I will be going live each and every time after the Dallas Cowboys game. And when the Dallas Mavericks, we right around the corner for basketball season too. I'm looking for some big things. I'm about to definitely step it up on this basketball year, man. We got Klay Thompson. So, but anyway, guys, we're gonna get out of here. I know the Cowboys got 10 days off. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll come back live again, depending on what happened on Sunday. But we shall see. But in the meantime, between time, you guys be safe, man. In the world that we're living in today, so much is going on, so much is happening, and we're losing people, left by left. So be safe out there. And I always like to say, always keep God first. Again, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share button for me. And I want to thank y'all for coming on to the replay, Sports Culture Show, the replay where we're still trying to make your day. Peace and blessings. Have a good evening, y'all.